Look, if you've been paying attention lately, you already know things are starting to heat up in a big way. There's a lot of buzz going around, and honestly, it feels like something big could be brewing. This isn't just another quiet lead-up. This is one of those moments where every move could change everything for the team. And as a fan, you can kind of feel it, right? Like something unexpected might be right around the corner. But stick with me and I'll keep you well informed, and be sure to click the like button and write in the comments. Go Browns! I still believe. The latest signals coming out of the league are impossible to ignore. And for fans of the Cleveland Browns, this could be one of the most defining draft weeks in recent memory. Multiple NFL sources are pointing toward a 2026 draft loaded with aggressive movement. And right at the center of that storm sits Cleveland, a team that may not even stay at pick number 6 when everything is said and done. League insiders are already describing this class as unusually trade-heavy, especially early in round 1. The reasoning is clear. The top of the draft is rich in defensive talent at premium positions like edge rusher, cornerback, and linebacker, while offensive playmakers, particularly at wide receiver, are also drawing serious attention. But once you move beyond those early tiers, the depth starts to fall off. That imbalance is pushing teams to either climb up aggressively or stockpile picks in the middle rounds. And that's where the Browns' strategy becomes fascinating. Internally, there are two very clear paths. One is staying at 6 and taking the best player available, which many around the league believe could be wide receiver Carnell Tate. He's widely viewed as WR1 in this class and ranks higher on most boards than the top offensive lineman. The other path is just as compelling, trading down and targeting multiple needs at once, especially along the offensive line or at receiver. Names like Monroe Freeling and Caden Proctor continue to surface as potential fits if Cleveland slides back. Both bring elite size and upside, exactly the kind of foundational pieces this roster could build around. Then there's the wide receiver angle beyond Tate, with prospects like Jordan Tyson gaining attention despite injury concerns, and even other options who could be available deeper into the first round. What complicates everything is the growing belief across the league that teams behind Cleveland are eyeing aggressive moves up the board. There are real conversations happening about franchises willing to jump into the top 6, not just for offensive weapons, but for defensive difference-makers. And if a team falls in love with a player Cleveland is also targeting, the Browns could find themselves forced into a decision: stay put and risk losing value, or move back and maximize assets. Even more telling is what's being said internally. General Manager Andrew Berry has already hinted that the team may not be selecting at 6 when draft night arrives. That alone should tell you everything about how fluid this situation is becoming. Around the league, executives are connecting the dots and increasingly viewing Cleveland as one of the most likely teams to trade down. And here's where it gets really interesting for Browns fans. If Cleveland does move back, it's not about giving up on elite talent, it's about multiplying opportunities. Instead of one pick at 6, you could be looking at multiple first-round selections, allowing the front office to address several key needs in one night. Offensive line, wide receiver, maybe even adding depth elsewhere, all suddenly become realistic scenarios. At the same time, there's real risk. Passing on a potential star like Carnell Tate could come back to haunt this franchise if he becomes the elite weapon many believe he will be. And with other teams clearly circling, Cleveland may not even have the luxury of choosing him if someone jumps ahead. This is shaping up to be a chess match, not just a draft. Every move Cleveland makes will ripple across the board, and the margin for error is razor thin. So, as we get closer to draft night, one question becomes unavoidable. Should the Browns stay aggressive and secure a top-tier talent at 6, or lean into the chaos of this class and trade down to build a deeper, more complete roster? The scenario that's starting to gain real traction around the league involves the Dallas Cowboys. And if this plays out the way some insiders believe, it could completely reshape the Browns' draft night. Dallas has been repeatedly linked to a move into the top 6, with a clear objective: landing a premier defensive prospect, specifically an edge rusher who can immediately elevate their front. One name being heavily tied to that possibility is David Bailey, a player who fits exactly what Dallas is missing. The Cowboys have the draft capital to be aggressive, and, more importantly, the urgency. Their defense needs impact talent, and waiting at their current position may not get them that guy. That's why Cleveland becomes such a logical trade partner in this situation. Now imagine this from the Browns' perspective. Instead of sitting at 6 and debating between one elite prospect or reaching slightly for positional need, they flip that pick and suddenly control 3 selections in the first round. The proposed framework floating around league circles is simple but powerful. Cleveland sends pick 6 and their second-rounder, pick 39, to Dallas in exchange for picks 12 and 20, giving the Browns 3 first-round picks overall. That kind of move isn't just aggressive, it's transformational. You're no longer locked into one decision that has to hit. You now have flexibility. At 12 and 20, the board opens up in a different way. You could realistically walk away with a starting offensive lineman and a high-upside wide receiver, addressing 2 major needs without forcing either pick. And if someone like Jordan Tyson continues to slide due to injury concerns, suddenly pick 24 becomes incredibly valuable for a team like Cleveland that has already shown interest in him. Tyson's situation is one of the most intriguing storylines heading into the draft. Some evaluators see him as the most talented receiver in the entire class when fully healthy, but durability questions have created hesitation. He's scheduled to work out for teams shortly before the draft, and that performance could swing his stock dramatically. If he proves he's healthy, he may not even make it out of the top 15. If concerns linger, he could fall right into the range where the Browns would be waiting after a trade-down scenario. And this is where Cleveland's front office has to trust its evaluations. Do you believe in the medicals? Do you believe in the upside? Because if you do, trading down doesn't feel like a step back. It feels like positioning yourself to win multiple times in the same round. But let's not ignore the other side of this. Passing on a player like Carnell Tate still carries weight. He's not just another prospect, he's viewed by many as a true #1 receiver at the next level. There are even reports that teams picking behind Cleveland are exploring ways to move up specifically to secure him. That means, if the Browns trade back, they are almost certainly closing the door on that opportunity. So the decision becomes philosophical as much as strategic. Is it better to land 1 potential star or 3 potential starters? Do you chase elite upside or build depth and flexibility across the roster? Everything we're hearing suggests Cleveland is seriously considering the second path. The combination of league-wide expectations for heavy trade activity, internal openness to moving the pick, and clear interest from teams like Dallas creates the perfect environment for a deal to happen. And if it does, this could be remembered as the night the Browns reshaped their roster in a single move. Now it's your turn to weigh in, because this is the kind of decision that defines a franchise for years. Would you pull the trigger on that deal with Dallas and stack 3 first-round picks, or stay at 6 and take the best player on the board? And if you're making that call, who are you betting on to lead this team into the future? Make sure to subscribe, drop a like, and don't miss the next update, because if this trade goes down, you'll want to be the first to know. And click on the video on your screen right now, because the latest Browns news and draft developments are happening fast, and you'll only find them here first. Go Browns!